Hey, welcome and or welcome back to my channel. We're doing a payday routine YNAB budget with me today. Second one in as many days, I know, but I got paid twice because I worked both on the temp apps and directly with an office as a W-2 employee. If you're a dental hygienist and you're interested in that, check out the video I posted here about how you can do that. It was super simple. I had a great experience. I would totally recommend, would totally do it again. But this video, we're going to budget the paycheck from the app. I worked 2 shifts at the same office. First shift was like a normal day, 7:30 to 5, which is longer than I like to work. I like to work to 4, but I just picked up the shift as is. I didn't worry about requesting a shortened shift. The second shift was 7:30 to 1. That's kind of the reason that I picked up the first shift, because I knew at the beginning of the week I was going to have a longer day, but at the end of the week I was going to have a short day. So 7:30 to 1. I actually think it was 7 to 1 the second day. But in any case, I got paid $744.54 for both of those shifts. And then I had a check of $15 that I deposited that came from somewhere else. So we are budgeting with a total of $759.54. This one will be a little bit more chatty because I have some things to explain. We're not going to do things the way we normally do. Also, I don't know if you remember, but last video I talked about how I basically needed to put $500 from each of the remaining 2 checks from this month, which would be the one that we're budgeting today and the one that we'll be budgeting next time. And this check is only a couple $100 over that, so we don't have much money to go around. So let's jump into the budget and we'll chat a little bit about how things are going to go down. So usually the first order of business is to go to the overspent and completely cover that. We're not going to be doing that this time. This time we're going to look through the overspending and only cover a little bit of it because I've been buying a lot of things for my vacation and I'm like in the process of returning and buying and trying to figure out the correct sizes and stuff. So I just want to kind of like leave that alone until everything is settled, and then I'll go back and pay for that. First though, this uncategorized transaction here, the way Walmart does their transactions is sometimes they'll charge you multiple times for one order instead of just at once. I think maybe that's Amazon, I can't remember. I don't really know what this 1905 and this 80 cents is for. I bought some groceries and some clothes and stuff for the cruise and some house items and personal care items in one order. So it's a little messy, so I'm not gonna cover that now. It's totally fine. My credit card balance is way less because I paid $4,800 towards the credit card. So the balance is super, super small right now. Of course, I'm not trying to just, charge it back up to $4,800, but I totally am comfortable with just letting these transactions ride for 1 or 2 more weeks until everything gets settled in, everything gets cleared, and then I know what the actual final charges are. But let's go ahead and look at the overspent anyway. For some of these items, I'm using Klarna because I know that they're gonna be returned. And when you use Klarna, the buy now, pay later, whatever you wanna call it, your purchase is divided up into 4 equal payments, but if you return stuff, it kind of just like takes the return from the end balances. So let's say you charge $20, so your payments would be $5,555. If you returned $6 worth of items, they would take your last payment completely away, and then they would make your next payment $4. So that's nice because it kind of just takes the payments off the end, and I've already put all the transactions into my scheduled transactions in YNAB, so it'll be easy to just simply delete a transaction. But let's go to the overspent and just take a look right now. Of course, that uncategorized is overspent because YNAB doesn't know where it's coming from. For personal care, I did end up buying some body wash and face moisturizer because I needed to reach a minimum spend on Walmart to get some clothes for the cruise delivered to me. It was stuff I needed, maybe not necessarily right at that moment. I'm not gonna cover that because it came from Walmart. Household goods, same thing. I bought a little hanger in my shower for my, like body wash and stuff instead of sitting it on the, what do you call it? Like the ledges in the shower or having like a shower caddy. I have one that hangs from the shower curtain rod. Scrubs, okay. So I ended up buying a couple more scrub jackets, but I'm going to get reimbursed for these. I don't really know how to handle reimbursements. I also put that on Klarna buy now, pay later, simply because I said, what's the point of, shelling out the full cost for the 2 jackets when I'm gonna be getting it back into my budget? I would rather just put it on Klarna, get the reimbursement, and then I'll put the reimbursement, the full amount, into the scrub category, so it'll be funded, and then the buy now, pay later payments will come out of there. Fund money. Now, fund money, I guess, technically we should go ahead and fund because this was not clothing for the cruise. There's probably a way that you could say buying clothes for the cruise is fund money, but like I bought basically like t-shirts, mostly t-shirts, and I bought I think maybe like 7 t-shirts or something like that. And t-shirts, I can wear those year round. I'm not gonna wait until the cruise to wear them. I'm gonna be wearing them now, especially now that it's heating up. Having short sleeve shirts is great. And I wear short sleeve shirts in the winter. You just throw a jacket on, throw your coat on top of that, and that's totally fine. I'm gonna come back to this in just 1 second. So the groceries, you know what? I will cover that because I put the transaction in YNAB, and then when it comes out, it's not correct, but I do know that I spent, I think it was only 83, oh no, 89, I guess I had some money in there. So I'll go ahead and cover that from ready to assign because I actually did spend that money on groceries. Now clothes, here's $354.19. Not only t-shirts, I didn't spend $350 on t-shirts. I have like 7 swimsuits coming from Temu. I'm not going to keep 7 swimsuits. I already have 1 swimsuit. I'm probably gonna keep 2 to 3 more swimsuits just to have variety. And so I'm not wearing a wet swimsuit, 2 days in a row. But a majority, I would say at least $100 of this will be going back, maybe even more. From Temu, I also have like a couple pairs of shoes. I have a couple swimsuit cover-ups, and I only need 1 swimsuit cover-up, so I'm not going to be keeping both. Sometimes the shoes you get from Temu are like the worst shoes you've ever seen in your life, so those might get returned. I think I have 2 bottoms. I think I have a dress. Sometimes, it's just not what it seems like online, so there's a good chance that a lot of that will be going back, so that's why I'm just not focusing on that now. Then for the car, I bought some cleaning stuff, so I'll go ahead and cover that overspending there. Okay, so back to fun money. Great news. I'm sick of Culver's, guys. I'm sick of Culver's. It worked. I went to Culver's so much, I do not want to go to Culver's anymore, which we love. I mean, it's not going to be a forever thing, but like I'm going to be near Culver's today. Going to get a matcha latte, more on that in a second, but I literally don't even want to go, so that's perfect. I would love to say that that means I haven't been spending money on food, but as you can see here, that's not the case. I will say though that I did end up buying what I need to make my matcha lattes. And there is a upcoming promotion at Capital One Cafe starting today, Monday. Every Monday you can go and you can get a free drink, and I will be going, I'll be going some Mondays because I work Monday. My house is in between Capital One Cafe and my job. So for me to go to Capital One Cafe after I get off work is gonna be a hard sell because I'm gonna have to pass by my house and I'm gonna be ready to go home. Today is a holiday. It's really perfect the way that this works out, but I have all the stuff I need to make the matcha lattes at home. I bought the exact same matcha that they use at the Capital One Cafe. I busted out my vanilla beans, which I thought would be nice and supple, but I vacuum sealed them and they were very crispy, crunchy. But I made some simple syrup and I put the vanilla beans in there and I'm gonna let it steep for like 24 hours. I bought a glass cup to use. I bought a matcha set, which includes like the little matcha whisk, everything I need to make a matcha latte. The only thing that I need that I'm going to get on the way home from Capital One Cafe today would be some 2% milk. And then I'm going to buy this little container to keep my simple syrup in because right now it's just steeping in the fridge in the pot I made it in. Other than that, I'm all set. Now that cost me a pretty penny. I did get a little bit of a discount. There was an affiliate code I found. It saved me 15%, 20%, 10%, I don't know, some percent. But the bag of matcha was $65 before the discount. But that's going to be 50 servings. So it's going to save me, I think I'm only paying about 1/3 of the cost. So it's going to save me money in the long run for sure, especially when I re-up the next time and only have to buy the matcha itself and not the cup, not the matcha set, not things like that. It'll be totally good. And I have enough vanilla beans to make more vanilla syrup. I also had these bags I bought from Temu years ago that make ice. You basically just like fill it up. It's like this plastic bag and it just like makes these ice cubes, which is great because I don't keep ice in the house and my fridge or freezer doesn't make ice. So I'm like literally all set. And also I bought the matcha on May 20th, like 10 o'clock at night, maybe even 11 o'clock at night. And they're in Wisconsin. It came 3 days later, May 23rd. Like what? May 23rd, that's crazy. I did go to Qdoba a couple times. I got like a Wells Fargo cash back thing. So they give me like pennies back. It's not a lot. But anyway, let's see. So Capital One Cafe, Qdoba, that's the 68 cents I got back. Another Capital One Cafe, the matcha set and then the glass cup were $28.31. Qdoba again. One morning I went to Chick-fil-A and I spent a ton on breakfast. I got like the berry parfait, yogurt parfait. It's like yogurt, 3 blueberries and 5 strawberries. And not full strawberries, like 5 pieces of strawberry. They are very specific. There's a definite formula that they use to make it. The best part about it though is the granola. I have taken a photo of the granola, taken a photo of the ingredients. I'm trying to figure out how I can remake it. I think I probably could, but it's very expensive. I think I know the yogurt they use. So that's another thing that I could remake myself and save money. And then I think I got chicken minis, just, I don't know why. And then I did get 1 croissant. I told you about that. I did get the 1 croissant. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and cover the overspending and then we can move on to allocating the rest of this paycheck. Not much money to go around because of the rent that is due. I'm gonna head right there to bills and basics. I already know, oh, how do you only need $762 more? I thought I needed, that's interesting. Well, okay, if I only need $764.22, I will just put half of that. I thought I had to pay $500. looks like I have a little bit more than I thought, which is cool. Let's go back up to the top here. Everything is set for Capital One, and we're gonna be using that card a lot less now that we have everything for the matcha. I mean, I might go to Capital One Cafe once a week and pay. I can't see myself going 2 days out of the week and paying when I could go Monday and get a free, and I also can make it at my house. You know what I mean? I can just make it here and go somewhere else. So I do go there to edit, which is nice. I might go once, but that'll be it. We'll see. Let's open all these up like I like to do. Okay, so I need 214 or 284 for student loans. I need 88 more for the taxes. I'll go ahead and put half, even though there could be a argument to be made that I should put it all because it's due on the same day I get paid, but I'm not super concerned about it. I will go ahead, I guess I'll just put, half of this 284 because that is starting very soon. How is that starting so soon? That's crazy. Student loans, 614. I'm confused, whatever. I know the plan is like illegal, right? The save plan, but I think they're gonna still take the money. I don't know. Let me just put my 284 divided by 2 and move on with my life. Investing, no money went into my investments from this paycheck, but I did switch. So the next time I get paid from that office, I will have 10% going to my investing, which will be great. Emergency fund, I do need to put some money towards my emergency fund. Actually, I have to do that because if I don't put $250 per month, we don't get the 4% APR, APY. So there we go. I knew this was gonna go fast. 74.84. Health insurance, yikes. Wow, okay. So we are in a bind because health insurance is due and 74.84 ain't gonna cover it. So, wow. All right, well, we'll just put 74.84 there. And then when I get paid on the 28th, I will put the rest of the money. Oh, this is looking weird. Okay, oh God, let's see if we can fix this. Okay, so it's saying it's funded, but it's really not. We need to refill up to $249.34 each month by the end of the month, but I haven't. It's saying that, so why does it say that I funded that when the activity in May literally only has a withdrawal? Refill up to, needed this, how have I funded 324? I must have funded it this month. I must have not done what I was supposed to do. No, $249.34. Why does it say that's available? That's weird. Did this not have the, oh, it has the, oh, right, because it has the date of the first. Maybe if I move this date to the 30th, will that work? I know it's gonna give me an error like, don't do that, it's reconciled. Oh, okay, it didn't do that. Let's see if that fixed it. Okay, yeah, it did. Okay, so I'll just need to make sure that I put the date as the last month so that it kind of works out. I have no more money, but let's just quickly go through here and see what's going on. We'll have to cover quite a bit with the next check, which is fine. And I do have $3,200 in my emergency fund. So if I need to pull a little bit from there, I know I was just saying I've never pulled from the emergency fund, but if I need to, the money is there. And I just said that I put $100 in there. If I take it right out, that's fine. So we probably will be pulling from the emergency fund. However, that'll be fine. I got my money or my bill for Excel. It's $50.99. So it's less than it, the highest it's ever been, which is the $54.17. But I don't have to worry about Excel until pretty late in the month. Everything else, yeah, I mean, health insurance, renters and car insurance will have to come out of that check. Personal care, it's overspent, but I'm gonna get that worked out. Gas, I'm gonna need to get gas this week sometime just because I'm probably less than a half a tank, more than a quarter tank, and it's only going up, I'm sure. Groceries, nothing is overspent because I just covered the overspending. I always say, oh, I'm good on groceries for the rest of the month. I really don't know. But let's see what we've spent so far on groceries. That would be helpful. We have spent $210, not super bad. We're going into the last week of the month and we've spent $90 less than kind of what we aim to spend for the entire month as a minimum. If I come in at 300, I'm doing great. 320 still good. 390 is still good. 497 would be kind of a lot, but anywhere around there, I'm feeling good. So being at 210 with 1 week to go, I feel really good about that. Let's look at our non-monthlies really quick. We still have $4 for parking. Great, don't plan on using it. The scrubs, we talked about. Everything else, there are things that I need, but we've chatted about those. I'm not really super worried about it. Same with the You Got the Look, the clothes we've talked about. Google One is totally funded. My car registration, YNAB, they do need a couple more dollars, not too much, not anything to worry about because this is in September and this is in 2027. Vehicular, nothing there. If you're curious about where all this money went, check out the last payday routine. I talked about why I'm taking all the money out of vehicular and putting it into the emergency fund. All right. So going to the wants, funny that I don't have my fun money as a want. I guess that's because it's like, you have to have fun. Like if you only pay your bills and you don't have any fun, like you're going to overspend anyway. Not that I don't overspend anyway doing it the way I do it, but you know what I'm saying? I haven't got my bill for the water yet. It's coming, not a big deal. And then yeah, all of these technically I could do without. I could cancel streaming, cancel my Watch What Crappin' subscription, Patreon membership, however you want to call it. Everything else I could cancel. I do have my play that I'm going to this week, which I'm super excited about after work on Thursday, which is also the end of my week. I don't work Fridays as a general rule. So that'll be a really cool way to end the week. And my subscription treats, I got my strawberries from Harry and David Fruit Club yesterday and I ate them all. They were so freaking good. They were so big. I should have taken a photo, but I didn't. I just ate them. I mean, I didn't just eat them right away. I like ate them in 2 batches and pretended like I was only gonna eat half, and then they were so good I ate all of them. Travel, oh yeah, lots of stuff we need to do for travel. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention. I just applied for another bank account to get a $400 bonus. So it is a credit union, I think, and they have to kind of have somebody approve it. So it'll be sometime this week since today's a holiday, and hopefully the account will be open and I can switch over my temp check for this week into the account. And then I'll be getting one more paycheck in June before I go on my cruise. Both of those will satisfy the requirement to get the $400 bonus. So I should get the $400 bonus right around the time that I'm going on my cruise, which will be great. I don't plan to spend a lot of money on the cruise. Like I'm the type of person who goes on a cruise and I stay on the ship. I'm totally fine with that. I don't need to do an excursion. I don't need to see the city. I just like going on vacation, not being at home, being away. So I'm not planning on doing really anything on any of these ports. I couldn't tell you today, honestly, what ports we're even going to. I think we're going to Cozumel for one of them, but I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But there are some expenses with the cruise, like getting to the port. I'm gonna have to get an Uber or a Lyft. I do still have some money that I need to put away for my hotel, things like that. Oh, one more thing. About this $114 refund from the cruise line because the price dropped. Y'all, when I tell you that these people had me chasing them down, I'll talk to you back about that in 1 second when we're full screen. Let me just go through this and then I'll tell you about my phone call with MSC. It was maddening. So everything else, you know, I will start contributing to once this cruise is done. I don't really have any more vacations planned for this year. I might go see my brother and my 2 nieces in Texas. They're moving actually, which will be great because I'm from Texas and my family, most of them is in Texas. My friends are in Texas, so instead of going to Texas and Vegas, I can just go to Texas, which will be great. So I might go visit them before the year's over, but that'll be kind of like a we'll see, spur of the moment, maybe type thing. We'll see how that goes. We talked about my hair, how I'm getting that done later next month. On track for Sam's. Oh yeah. All these things I need to pay for. These are in wants, like the things for my business, but they kind of are in needs. Like, I don't think I can just cancel my virtual mailbox and then try to like resubscribe in a month. They're gonna be like, what? So these kind of things are things that I definitely need to pay for, but we'll worry about that later, next paycheck, because that's, I mean, I don't have any more money. I do have $100 here, $50 for my adjustable dumbbells, which I really could use. I really could lift heavier, but what are you gonna do? And then $50 for my sewing machine setup, which is gonna cost me for just like the machines and the basic stuff you need, like a cutting mat, rotary cutters, pins, you know, pin cushion, a table to sew at. I'm gonna use a projector to project my pattern. So like a projector and like a projector arm to project over, all that's gonna cost about $1,000. And then if I think about fabric, things like that, patterns, I would say probably another $200 would be what I need. So $1,200 to get me started with like the initial setup. So that is a dream that's unfortunately very far off, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, before I get into the MSC, I think I told you that the Capital One Cafe has free coffee every Monday. I think it's like until September. So it's like a long time, but you know, that's beside the point. Okay, so with this MSC, the price dropped and it was $114 difference. This was March 23rd. I called, they said, okay, we're gonna refund you. The man said it would be like 7 to 10 days, which was surprising to me because I had researched online and I heard figures like 60 days. So my stupid ass believed him. Yeah, 7 to 10 days passed. I called back and the lady was like, oh no, it's 30 days. I don't know why anybody would tell you 7 to 10 days. It's 30 days. And I'm like, okay, thank you so much. So I set another reminder to call back in 30 days. Call back in 30 days. They're like, oh, 30 days? I don't know why anybody would tell you 30 days. It's 1 to 2 billing cycles. So I'm like, okay, I'll call back in 60 days. So 60 days comes, I'm on the phone. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. I'll tell you right now, this whole call lasted over an hour and 10 minutes. But let me tell you what happened on that call. Okay. So I got on the call, told the lady, this is what I told her. I said, I paid my final payment on or about March 23rd, and I still haven't seen my refund. You want to know what this lady told me? This lady told me, oh, well, we're still in the time frame for us to give you your refund. And I go, okay, so when is the date that I should be waiting to call back? Because, you know, I'm used to getting this bullshit. Every time I call, it's always something different. I say, okay, when is the date that I should call back? She says, let me see. She says, okay, it'll be July 23rd. I said to her, and I went off on her. I did go off on her because here's the thing. I've worked enough customer service jobs. I never go off on somebody when it's like not their fault. Like it's not their fault of the second person I called who told me 30 days that the other person told me 7 days. That's not their fault. They didn't have nothing to do with that. Now it is their fault that they lied to me, but I didn't know that at the time, okay? So I didn't go off on her. The person who told me 30 to 60 days, 1 to 2 billing cycles, I didn't go off on them either because that's not their fault. They have nothing to do with that, okay? But this lady to tell me July 23rd, I said to her, I said, okay, so let me just make sure I understand you. You mean to tell me that I called for a refund on March 23rd and I need to wait until July 23rd, 4 months until I get my refund? And she's like, oh no, can you hold on 1 second? I'm gonna get our accounting department. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna hold on. I need you to answer the question. You're telling me to wait 4 months. She's like, no, it's not 4 months. It's only, 1 to 2 billing cycles. I'm just looking at the notes. And I was like, okay, well, looking at the notes, you should have made sure what you were telling me was correct. I told you March 23rd. So for you to tell me 4 months later, it means that you're not listening, you're not paying attention. You're like, that's not acceptable to me. Like you have to go to work and do your job. Like you don't just say anything to get the customer off the phone, which is what she wanted to do to get me off the phone. But no, you need to figure out what the real thing is. So long story longer, I was transferred to somebody else after waiting like 40 minutes on hold. And she was like, okay, I'm going to refund you. Let me get to our other department. She put me on hold for about 15 minutes and she hung up on me. I said, okay. So I called them right back, got somebody different, told them what happened. And then when I was talking to them, the lady who hung up on me called back and she was like, okay, our call got dropped. So they want to know what card they should put the refund on. Okay. So y'all wasn't even trying to put my refund back on my card for these last 30 to 60 days. Y'all were just bullshitting because y'all didn't even know where to put the refund. So I told her the information and she says, okay, in 3 to 5 business days, it'll be refunded. So you better believe on day 5, that 5th business day, you already know that I'm calling them again, right? If I don't get my money. So moral of the story is it takes about 70 days for you to get your money when you do a refund for a price drop on MSC Cruises. And I say that as a person who still has not got their refund. So it might take longer than 70 days, but do not listen to no 10 days, 30 days, 40, no. Basically at 60 days, call them back and then they will actually put the refund through, which is like really crazy. They got a freaking interest-free loan from me of $114 for 60 days. And there's just like, I'm just sitting over here looking stupid. Child, I can't believe it. Anyway, as y'all see, they got the sirens coming for me. That's enough ranting for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this shorter payday routine. And the next time we do this will be pretty interesting because we're gonna have to really do some shuffling around, juggling around, see how these pieces will fit to make all the money that I need appear out of thin air. And hopefully that $400 bonus will be in progress. If not, I will update you on that too. See you next time. Bye.